Hello everybody, welcome into the NSRA Sunday Select Series, making a stop tonight at the World Center of Racing. It's Daytona International Speedway. Under the bright lights, appreciate everybody tuning in. You are watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Drivers getting ready to roll off. Let's head down trackside and get started with your race info. As we noted, at Daytona tonight, 2.5 mile super speedway. Early in the morning, track temp, one of the coolest we have ever seen, going to be at 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Weather outside, 68 degrees, 0% humidity, partly cloudy skies. Winds at 3 miles an hour. It's the WOW Video 200. Guys in the Truck Series here tonight for 80 laps around Daytona. Everybody's going to have 50% fuel, unlimited tires, 2 fast repairs as always, fixed setups, and 3 green-white checkers if we were to need them. Taking a look at your starting grid here tonight on pole, man, Cody Nagels. He'll start in the 6 truck. John Guerra to his outside will start from the outside pole. He will start in the 88 truck tonight. Dawson Wise back in 3rd. He'll have David Overstreet to his outside in 4th. Sean Stevens and Vicente Guerrero going to be making up row 3, and it's going to be Dana Osborne and Dusty Burkhart rounding out row number 4. Alex Giffen will start from 9th. Russ Hancock to his outside. He'll round out your top 10. And it's going to be Bubba Winningham in 11th. Robert Jordan in 12th. DJ Thomas, winner of the inaugural race at Daytona, so he knows how to get it done here. He'll start from 13th. He'll have some help. And Michael Triscaro, one of the teammates, to his outside in 14th. Robert Morrison back in 15th. Alex Green in 16th. Chad French back in 17th. Len McNeese in 18th. And rounding out the field tonight, a little bit smaller of a field than what we're used to seeing. 19th place is going to be Adam Kilday in the 85 truck. He's fast, and you know he is going to be to the front here in a hurry. Got 2 guys carrying a driver cam for us here tonight. We'll take a look at them later. It's going to be Bubba Winningham and Michael Triscaro. Both of those guys looking for their first win of the season. Race initially was named the WOW Video Tours 200, but unfortunately YouTube didn't want to give us any room, so we had to modify the name just a little bit. But nonetheless, here we are, 80 laps, 2.5 miles. That gives you 200 miles in total. Going to be expecting pit stops, 2 3-wide action all the way, and potentially a new winner. When you look in retrospect, we have not seen a lot of new winners just yet throughout the season, but we very well could here tonight. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Daytona. As they stay 2 by 2 to cross the line, completing lap 1, it was Cody Nagels at the line leading the lap. To his inside, though, Sean Stevens continues to roll the bottom, trying to make it work. That cool track temp tonight, it's going to make that top line really tough. Guys are going to have to push a lot harder than they would like to if they want to get it to make any progress. But I think we're going to see everybody stay nice and calm here for a little while, at least until we get to that first pit stop. Seemed to be kind of the trend last week at Talladega. Only a few cautions. Daytona, of course, a little bit narrower, banking about the same. And there's Vicente Guerrero in the 14 truck, currently sitting 4th on the inside as they roll off. The apron, though, here at Daytona, probably the biggest difference between here and Talladega, and then, of course, where that start-finish line is. And you see him crossing it right now. At Talladega, we would see that start-finish line a little bit closer to turn 1, just out of the exit of the tri-oval. And that makes me think the inside line might be the place to be here, coming to the checkered flag. We'll see how they choose to go about it. I feel like it's only fitting, though, that the man leading the race right now is the sponsor of tonight's race, Sean Stevens, in the WOW Video Tours 27 machine. He's going to lose his help from Dana Osborne. You see that gives a surge of momentum to the outside. That's going to allow Cody and Dawson just barely to get clear of that inside line. They're both going to drop down. Those 2 guys working together here tonight, I would have to assume, at least looking like it early. You got to find your friends where you can get them. And Cody pulling Dawson there. That's a good way to make a friend, but Dawson quickly going to split him here. Jumps to the outside, going to look for a push from John Guerra and David Overstreet. Doesn't look like anybody's really bothered with trying to take it 3 wide just yet. A little bit further back. We had some shuffling off of 4. Right around the Robert Morrison, DJ Thomas, and the 343 truck of Russ Hancock. Somewhere around that area. And behind them, you got a couple guys sitting back. But again, with only 19 trucks, 80 laps, I feel like this is a good race for a lot of guys to kind of get racy. Right? I mean, try some things out. 19 trucks decreases the chances of a caution in that risky racing that we usually see with the bigger fields by quite a bit. But still some people back here. Adam Kilday started in the back, and he seems pretty content to stay there, at least for now. And then on his outside, Len McNeese. He's had a couple close chances this season. Still looking for his first win. He's sitting in the back as well. And it looked like Robert Morrison had thought about taking it 3 wide that last lap as they entered 3. But that 43 truck wasn't able to really find much help, wasn't able to get anything working, so he had to fall back and drop in line. Talked about 2 drivers that were carrying the onboard camera for us here tonight. We'll take a look at the first one, and that is Bubba Winningham. First time Bubba's been doing a driver cam for us here tonight. We certainly appreciate it. Bubba right now in the 8th position, up 3 from where he started. And actually, let's see if we can't ride on board with him real quick. Just holding a nice smooth line on the outside. The only times he has to get worried is right there. Sees the truck pull up in the high lane. He's got to check up, and I think that's Cody. Cody may have gotten himself split right here. He did not. He got cut a break. A lot of checking up in the back, though. We got 2 in the grass. Looks like it's Dusty Burkhart was one of them. He gets it back going, but caution is out. And that all started from that stack-up effect. Let's take a look if anybody else got involved. Len McNeese and Robert Morrison. Yeah, he's getting the worst of it here. Right side damage to the 43 truck looked like. Doesn't look like it's too bad, though, just a scrape. Let's go back and take a look. This all is going to start with Cody getting split here. And I'm thinking Dawson may have tried to cut him a break. Let's see how it forms up, though, out of turn number 4. Cody being scored second, so he didn't lose too much. So coming out of the corner here, everything looks fine. And then Dawson maybe gives Cody a bad bump, washes up. And once Dawson splits him here, John Garrow's going to go with him. So they're all going to leave Cody, it looks like. But then you see Dawson, I think, maybe tries to kind of check up here to let Cody back in line. And I think that translates out back. Let's go to the onboard here. All right, so here's Dawson Wise coming out of the corner. Does he make some contact? Yeah, he does. You see he just hits Cody a little bit offset. And because of that, he shoots up the track a little bit. Maybe thought that Cody was going to lose it, just trying to give him room to save it. And then once Dawson jumps up, he is going to try to tuck back down in line. And it does cause a little bit of a checkup, but all in all, that checkup's not ultimately, at least from the look, what causes this wreck towards the back. Watch it from the blimp cam. Yeah, looks like the rookie Michael Triscaro getting together with Robert Morrison. See if we can get a better view of it here from the spotter cam. Actually, we're going to go to the chopper view. I take it back. And watch. Is there contact? It might look like a little bit of netcode. Triscaro on the outside. And yeah, there is some netcode between those 2 drivers. Triscaro was coming down slightly. Robert was coming up slightly, but they never make contact. Just a little bit of that right rear netcode that we see a lot over on the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. And that turns a 43 right around into the outside wall. Head on he goes. Spins around, backs it in as well. Everybody else is able to dodge it. Looks like Kilday and Burkhart were the only 2 that had to go in the grass to miss it. And luckily for Morrison, that thing gets back rolling. Doesn't have to worry about the engine expiring and potentially having to pay a tow bill. Take one more look at it here. And it looks like the ghost thing's not want to cooperate with us too much. So we're going to back this up and try it one more time. And I was looking here. I wanted to take a ride on board actually with Michael Triscaro. That's what we're going to do right here. But back this up a little bit more. And watch, going down for maybe a little bit of a side draft here. Outside 3 wide. Now watch how close they're going to get, but they're never going to touch. There you go. You see that the left front of Michael Triscaro never quite gets into the 43. Gets close. But nonetheless, netcode, one of the few things that keep the sim from being perfect. But of course, that's what you expect here. And at the end of the day, it's just guys can't help it, and they'll move on. Looks like Robert Morrison decided to stay out for now. What an interesting choice here. We'll see what he's scheming up. I think they're going to come around and probably get the one to go this time. But I'll tell you what, sitting here looking at Bubba Winningham on the driver cam, he's looking pretty excited tonight. I'm going to go see if we can get a quick word with him. Give me just a moment here. All right, let's see if we can pull Bubba in here real quick. Hey, Bubba, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up? What's up?
All right, man. Well, we're keeping an eye on you early here. You look like you're just kind of riding around, first time on the driver cam here tonight. But so far, so good. Still looking for that first win on the season. Any new game plan here tonight, or just doing the same thing as last week?
Well, I like my chances for a top 20 finish tonight.
Well, we got 19 trucks, so I would say that's a pretty good idea. But, I mean, we see pit strategy, we see wrecks. I mean, how are you going to go around getting through all these? And do you try to get to the front now, or how do you do it?
You know, I think with this smaller field, I'm going to try to get up front and kind of stay up there best I can and kind of watch fuel as well and see what happens.
All right, well, we know that we're coming. Well, we got the one to go this time, so we're getting ready to go back green. Now, looking a little bit ahead towards those pit stops. We know we don't really have teams in here, but is there certain guys that you keep your eye on that you try to kind of pit with?
You know, I kind of run with Dave a little bit and Chad and just try to have somebody to get in and get out with, you know.
All right, sounds like a pretty good way to roll out the rest of this race. Hey, thanks for talking to us, Bubba. We'll let you go. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate you.
All right, that's Bubba Winningham, driver of the number 66, sliding back into his team. And you know what? He said exactly what we were hoping for at the beginning, that all these guys would do rather, and that's go to the front. 19 guys. He said, I feel like I'm going to get a top 20 finish, and he's right. 19 trucks can't do any worse. And overall, that's a chance for guys to get more points here tonight. You know, you wreck out, you don't have to worry about losing as many points, so go for it. See if you can't get a couple more points. Michael Triscaro and Robert Morrison, the two guys involved in that wreck. There's a look at Michael Triscaro. He's getting ready to go, lined up on the inside as part of that long single-file line of guys that came in and topped off. But sure enough, Robert Morrison throwing a wrench in the strategy here, staying out with the damage that he received. And here we go, back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. 8 laps completed. And the damage on the front end of that 43 truck is going to make me think that Alex Giffen probably not going to stay behind him here for too long. We'll see how long before the 99 or somebody further back splits that second lane 3 wide. And you can see him falling back in a hurry. Dawson Wise is going to get clear on the bottom. So is the 27 of Sean Stevens. And that outside line just continuing to fade. The longer they're going to stay there, the more they're going to lose. Here goes Overstreet, and Stevens going to jump to the outside. A little bit of a side draft there off of Dawson Wise. Down the back straightaway. Robert Jordan coming in for support on the inside and on the outside. There's the 3 truck. I believe we've seen him rotating numbers, but that's Alex Green. And from what I've seen this season, I felt like, in my opinion, he has been one of the best pushers. Anytime he's gotten anywhere near the front, the line that he chooses to go with seems to be the one that rolls better. But he wants to jump back to the inside, maybe feels a little bit more comfortable there right now. Bubba Winningham on that start. We saw him round in the middle of the pack. I'm not sure if this was by design or what happened. But he's fallen back just a little bit in the number 66 Chevy Land. Of course, Chevy Silverado. I was going to say, how ironic would that be if he was running a Ford or Toyota? But he's continuing to fade here. Going to let DJ Thomas and Vicente Guerrero probably sneak by. And then Adam Kilday, Robert Morrison, they're all going to line up. I think Morrison may have made a mistake here. If he can't keep the draft, that's going to be really detrimental. I mean, guys have 2 fast repairs. If nothing else, I figured he would have went in, got the optional fixed, and came back out and just held on to the draft, but it's starting to look like he may not even be able to do that. And actually, we'll take a look at the dashboard speed right now for Robert Morrison, 183 miles an hour. You go up front, and he would be about 5 miles an hour slower than your current leader, Dawson Wise, as he is getting pushed from Robert Jordan. Cody Nagels shifted up to the top line in front of Sean Stevens, who's been at the front basically for the entire race up to this point. Looking at your weather outside, this was something else I wanted to talk about at the start of the race. Note the time that it is right now. Race time, it's absolutely flying, but it's just about to be midnight here, race time. And that means we're going to be running this race technically into the morning. I don't think the race is long enough to where we'll get to see the sun come up, but if we do, that's certainly, you'll know why. Midnight racing, the best way to do it here at Daytona, we were at Talladega last week. Saw a thriller of a finish in that one. See what we can see here this week. Put the track map away for you and putting the weather away. Who you got to pick to win here tonight? I think David Overstreet is overdue at this point for one. He's got the speed to do it each week. He's got caught up in a lot of wrecks last week. Was able to claw himself back up into a good finishing position. But, oh, we got some contact. One around. Alex Green, does he hold on? Still a lot of fishtailing going on. Everybody's trying to save it. Green back up into the pack on the back straightaway. He gets turned down into Adam Kilday. Kilday comes to a sliding stop on the backstretch grass. So does Alex Green. He tows immediately. That means the engine must have expired. And now the yellow flag flies. Didn't even realize it didn't come out at first. Don't see too much damage on the 85 truck. Looked like for the most part he just went for a spin, and that was a very scary moment there as you saw the 85 coming back up into traffic. That usually, the 3 truck rather, coming back up into traffic. That usually doesn't end too well. Let's back this up, take a look at it. So we get to the backstretch, and I don't really like that view, so we're going to go ahead and go to the blimp cam here. So you saw Alex Green off at this point. Bottom of your screen, actually we'll go to him here. He gets, this is off at 2, is where this is going to kind of all develop. I think he just washes up a little bit. Yeah, he does. Gets up the track a little bit here. No harm, no foul. Is he going to hit someone? Washes back up a second time, and might have been some slight net code right there between him and David Overstreet. They were running really close, and there was a little bit of bobble from Alex. And that's hard to say if he actually makes contact or not. I don't think he does. It's a little bit of net code. That does turn the 3 into Sean Stevens. They do make some contact, and that shoots the 3 back onto the apron. Now, he does a good job of saving it here initially, and then, yeah, just a misjudgment there, I guess, by Len McNeese. You see Alex looking to come up here. I think he was thinking about sneaking in, saw Len McNeese coming. And so he kind of stops, pulls back down low here. And then Len just goes down and hits him in the right rear, turns him up into the pack. I think what happens, I think Len was trying to get behind the 3 to get him back up. And yeah, just slightly misjudged it. And that's what turns the 3 back up the track here. DJ Thomas, I don't know how he misses it. We're going to have to ride on board John Guerra as well. Nicely done. And then Adam Kilday nowhere to go. Robert Morrison came along as well, but he was nowhere near the initial wreck, so he was able to miss it. And actually, let's go back to where this starts for Alex Green. Here's the cockpit view for DJ Thomas. Talked about he had a close call. Watch this. Man, just... Oh, that's actually Adam Kilday. I meant to go to DJ Thomas. I was going to say. No, he didn't make any contact. You saw Adam did almost sneak by, but here is DJ. Just behind John Guerra. John does get clipped, but he saves it. And then DJ with the heads-up driving and quick reaction time saves him a fast repair and keeps him track position. And again here, looks like it's Robert Morrison being scored up front again. I wonder if he may have actually went into pit just before that caution came out. We see it the left side's fine. I was trying to take a look at the front to see if it's cleaned up. And it looks like it is. So he may have already been in to take a fast repair, or if nothing else, at least got the damage fixed optionally. That's going to put Cody Nagels back in second, Dawson Wise third, Robert Jordan in fourth, David Overstreet back in fifth. There's Michael Triscaro in sixth. Dana Osborne in 7th, Russ Hancock in 8th, Alex Giffen in 9th. And there's DJ Thomas, currently rounding out your top 10. Chad French in the 94. I haven't said anything about Chad here tonight. Currently sits just a few spots outside your top 10 and 13th, one of the rookies in the field. Dusty Burkhart back in 14th. There's Len McNeese involved in that caution. He's going to bring it back down the pits here to top off on fuel and get some more of the damage that you see on the right side there fixed. John Guerra in the 88, the only Toyota in the field, second Toyota in the field rather. DJ Thomas is also, no, take it back. DJ was in a Toyota. He has now switched to a Ford. And you always wonder if manufacturers work together in these. I don't really think that they do. We know in real life they do, but in iRacing, it's more or less just whatever guy you either feel the most comfortable pushing or whoever seems to be going to the front the quickest. and still have not had a chance to see too much three-wide action here as of yet. But certainly a couple guys getting antsy. The fuel window is probably around 16 laps for everybody. And as it runs right now, they probably get about 48, make it 63. They're going to have to pit at least 3, maybe 4 times still. From the math that I'm doing here, I think it would be 3 times still. Because they get 16 laps on fuel, so they'll have to pit probably around lap 32. And then from there, they'll pit around lap 48. And then I think lap 60 something would be their last pit stop, assuming that they stayed green up to that point. We'll have to see. And if you're Cody here, you got Dawson Wise behind you. Those two have been working together for most of the night here tonight. Robert Jordan and Michael Triscaro. We'll see what they can do. But right now, if you're on the inside, I think you just push Robert Morrison around, stay patient, see what you can make happen. Again, want to thank everybody coming out here tonight. Small crowd on track and off track. Again, Sunday Night Football on, so we appreciate anybody that's tuning in to view, whether it's one of the drivers on track, one of the fans tuning in, or one of the regulars here that watch the Ghost broadcasts. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday night. Appreciate you being here. Getting ready to go back racing here. Morrison and Nagels back into the restart zone, and through the gears they're going to go. Across the line, it's a dead heat through the trial. Well, this outside line, though, as they always do, going to stack up. The goal, if you're on this outside here as well, if you're Cody, it's going to be to drop right down. But if you're not, get lined up and get set up for this back straightaway. That's where you're going to make the most headway. And you see Dawson and Overstreet. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Morrison not able to find the sweet spot on the back bumper of Cody Nagels. Meanwhile, Overstreet, no issues with getting to Dawson Wise's back bumper. That allows both of those trucks to easily get clear. And is Overstreet going to take him to the bottom here? I think he gave Dawson a chance to drop down as well. That leaves it open to DJ Thomas up top. Does Overstreet consider jumping back up here? Does he stay down for now? Looks like he's going to continue to hold it down for now, not jumping up just yet. DJ Thomas, Michael Triscaro, 2 of the rookies in the field, going to try to make some noise up here as well. Don't count out Bubba Winningham of the 66 truck, 3rd in line. You see him starting to make his way up here as well. Adam Kilday, after that last crash, still towards the back, and now they are back to even 2x2 lanes, and they are probably about 10 rows deep. Just a couple guys that are not in a 2x2 formation. Adam Kilday trying to catch up on that outside line. And we talked about the speeds tonight. With the track temp this cool, this could be some of the fastest speeds that we'll see for the trucks all season as they approached 190 miles an hour mid-pack. Going into turn 3, Bubba Winningham is 3 wide right now, and he looks like he is not too comfortable in it. Wants to probably get out of this pretty soon. There's Bubba. Watch how steady he's going to try to hold the wheel here as he works through it, sitting behind Michael Triscaro. Don't make much movements here. He's also trying to support that middle, though, as long as he can. This is the first time that we've really gotten 3 wide here tonight. So a lot of these guys are going to have to get comfortable with it. John Guerra's got a little bit of left door damage. Cody Nagels on the bottom. And if this 3rd lane can make progress, that would be a pretty big breakthrough here tonight in terms of just didn't expect it. And Cody's going to drop to the back. Doesn't feel too comfortable, and I don't blame him. The 8's going to go around. Dana Osborne down into Dawson Wise. David Overstreet's in it as well. Those two come to a sliding stop, make it 3 trucks involved. We got one on the inside wall on the back straightaway. Caution didn't fly initially, but it's out now. Thomas and Osborne get back rolling, and it's Dawson Wise who we saw stuck, not really stuck, but come to a stop at that inside wall, and he's got left front damage to the front bumper of that number 98. David Overstreet, not sure how bad the damage was for him. Looks like it is on the right front. Let's take a look at it. Cody picked the right time to bail out. Just as I was getting ready to note it, said I wasn't going to blame him. It all goes south. Let's take a look first here from the chopper. Actually, let's take a look from the blimp cam, see if we can figure out exactly where it all goes wrong. Dana Osborne, John Guerra getting a great run on the outside here. And just, I'm not really sure exactly. I don't think John was trying to take him 4 wide right there. Certainly not something that's really doable here at Daytona. One of those things where if somehow you find yourself in an awkward 4 wide spot, you can maybe make it work for the straightaway, but just too narrow in the turns to really make anything happen. I want to ride on board here with John. I'm thinking this was a push from Adam Kilday getting to him just at the wrong time, and That's a tough one for me. It does kind of look like John turns the wheel. Yeah, that's a hard one to say. I mean, from that view, like I said, it kind of looks like John maybe turns the wheel a little bit. But from the chopper view, let's see, did he get pushed by Adam Kilday right as he got to the back bumper? Or, excuse me, I keep saying Kilday. That was actually Vicente Guerrero in the 14. And it almost looks like Vicente's to his back bumper at the exact time that he gets there. And you got to wonder, did Vicente just give him an offset push? Certainly what it looks like. If that was the case, that's what would have got John offset and then kind of just pushes him into the 8 here of Dana Osborne. Yeah, the 8-8 gets a little wiggle when he's trying to come back and just clips Dana Osborne in the left rear, and that sends Dana around with nowhere to go. So, and once they start getting out of shape here, watch them fly. 88 through the grass. I think Dawson Wise probably got the worst of it. And I think it's just, like I said, I think it might have just been poor timing. You know, if you're Vicente Guerrero in that case, you're trying to push for all that you're worth, trying to get up there to get yourself towards the front, and he may not have realized that John Guerrero was as close as he was, and when he caught him, and just an unfortunate circumstance. Take a couple more angles of it here. First one from the TV3 view. Again, it took a minute for the caution to fly there. I was a little surprised. And boom, there's the shot for Dawson Wise. Actually got almost stuck on that inside wall. Take one more view here from the gearbox for Dawson Wise. And actually, let's back that up a little bit. So it brings out your third caution here of the night. 20 laps in. A little bit opposite of what we saw last week here with all the early cautions. But everybody's still trying to get a feel for each other and the track conditions here tonight. And it is now 1:16 sim time, so I don't know. There's a chance actually we might get to see the sunrise here a little bit before this race is all said and done. 69 and Dusty Burkhardt, I was going to say is your leader, but he's going to bring it down to the pits. That's going to hand it over to the rookie, Michael Triscaro. And looks like we're going to have a lot more takers here for the pits. And that's a good strategy to come down and top off because we're going to go green here with just under 60 laps to go. And you figure if these guys can do 16 laps on each stint of fuel, 16 times 4 gives you roughly 84. Or excuse me, I meant to say 64 rather. So these guys pitting here, it's going to make their pit cycles pretty even, and that would be 3 more stops exactly from here. And let's go take a look at the other guys in your top 5 and top 10. So Triscaro and John Guerrero are going to be making up row 1. Alex Giffen on the inside of 2. He's going to have Sean Stevens to his outside in 4th. Robert Jordan back in 5th. Bubba Winningham in 6th. Russ Hancock in 7th. Cody Nagels 8th. Dawson Wise in 9th. Dusty Burkhardt in 10th. You know Dawson had to probably use a fast pair after that one, and sure looks that way. Robert Jordan looking for his first win of the season here tonight as well. One of the drivers, strong contender each and every week. The driver out of Winsboro, Texas. Thinking tonight could be the night. He's got a nice looking paint scheme on there. And right now, rolling on the bottom, going to be rolling off from 5th as we know. He's up 7 from where he started. So it's another good night up to this point for Robert Jordan. Just looking to capitalize, icing on the cake at this point. And if you're Michael Triscaro, being in the lead here, even though you may not have topped off on fuel, is going to be just as important if you're back there trying strategy. Being a rookie, sometimes you're always learning, and right now, him leading laps is going to be one of the best ways for him to learn. Had a couple mistakes this season, but a lot of good runs at the same time to pair up with it. And he is going to be a contender at the end of the season here, probably throughout the playoffs. But this is his chance to get some experience leading. He's going to have a good pusher and Alex Giffen behind him. He's going to have 2 good pushers as well on the outside, John Guerra and Sean Stevens. We'll see if anybody jumps up there with those 2 to try to keep that line rolling. Green flag is back in the air, 22 laps complete. It's a good start for Michael Triscaro. You can see that outside line fading in a hurry. We'll see if Stevens bails here. Tries to hop to the inside. For now, though, he's going to stick with John. And at this point, if you're one of the people that just hopped off, I think you can afford to get racy without burning too much fuel. Man, oh man, Russ Hancock barely was able to shut the door right there on Cody Nagels. Cody saw opportunity with only 2 trucks on this outside line. He wanted to be the third man to make it move. But Russ Hancock said, not so fast. Slammed the door, and that's going to put Cody fourth on the outside with Vicente Guerrero. And Robert Morrison starting to come back now, as now the inside's going to be the lane that dies. Vicente jumping back to the bottom, the 66 of Bubba Winningham just in front of him. And a lot of movement right now going on between both lanes. David Overstreet sitting back just a little bit. I think he's ready to try to tick some laps off. As we ride out of the back here of Russ Hancock, there's a look at Cody Nagels. And with the guys that Cody has behind him here, Dawson Wise and David Overstreet, he may be the first one to take it 3 wide. In fact, you see him backing up just a little bit here. Could be setting himself up for a run or just trying to manage the gap. The trucks, when you get a run, they're big and you can push really hard, but sometimes it takes quite a bit of time to really kind of draw up and get that run really formed up. And just before we had that wreck, though, we saw the third lane working pretty well. Definitely can make some moves on it at the end of a race. It's probably going to be the place to be if you're anywhere near the back trying to get to the front. But early on, after what we saw already with 3 cautions, I think everybody wants to ride double file for a little bit. Overstreet got to the back of Dawson Wise further back. Up front now, Guerra trying to get clear. Michael Triscaro, Sean Stevens wasn't quite able to get to his bumper through the center of the corner, so he had to back off. Michael Triscaro and Alex Giffen continued to tandem down low. Robert Jordan still assisting, and Guerra's going to get clear here. We'll see if he decides to take it. Maybe trying to pull Sean Stevens with him. It's close, but he couldn't quite do it. And at that point, I would think Stevens' temps would have started to get hot, but John's going to stay up there. He likes the pushes that Sean's been giving him so far, and he wants him to keep pushing him for the rest of the race. Levin McNeese out back, and Dana Osborne, the last truck in line, involved in that last caution. As we have now completed 25 laps, we are going to take a quick side-by-side break. We will be right back. Currently, your 2 leaders, Michael Triscaro and John Guerra, leading it at Daytona. Hold your horses just a minute. Third lane going. It's getting a little scary, and now we're going to wreck 2 cars into the outside wall. How many more is it going to collect? Did they save it? And they did not. Yellow flag is out. Cody is slow in the back. And he's got left rear damage. And I'll tell you what, I think for the most part they did save it. Cody maybe being one of the exceptions there as he got damage from it. But I didn't see anybody really spin around. Let's go back and take a look. This will draw up your 4th caution here of the night. 25 laps down. And rolling from the chopper cam. There's where Cody's damage came from, but so this is coming off of turn number 2, the 343 up the track just slightly. That's Russ Hancock who slammed the door earlier on Cody Nagels. And this time he catches him in a little bit of a different way. Watch the 343 truck. Going to be on that outside line, the middle line. Blue, white, and red truck third in line and just starting to creep up. And it's going to cause a little bit of right rear neck code. Just got a little too close to Cody there. Game thought they were making contact, so it sends the 343 up the track. He gets into Robert Jordan, who gets into the outside wall, but is able to save it down into Dawson Wise, Overstreet, and Kilday. And then everybody else was able to swerve and miss it. So, yeah, not really many trucks involved. In fact, again, nobody spun out, and Cody Nagels, the only one that really got slowed up too much from it and got damage. But I know Cody's glad to see that caution. It'll give him a chance to go fix it. And I don't think he'll have to use a fast repair on it. Doesn't look too bad. Michael Triscaro was able to fend off the crowd there during that run, so he is still sitting in the lead for now. We'll see if he decides to pit. John Guerra in second, Alex Giffen in third. Sean Stevens back and forth with Bubba Winningham in fifth, Vicente Guerrero sixth, Robert Morrison in seventh, Robert Jordan in eighth, Russ Hancock in ninth, and there's Dawson Wise currently running at your top 10. Looks like everybody's going to break down to the pits here. I thought this would be the time where maybe we would have saw a little bit of strategy, but everybody wants 4 tires and fuel, and we'll see who wins the race out of pit road. Looking at the pit lane 2 cam here. Michael Triscaro, remember, came in as your leader, but he's not going to leave that way. John Guerra, Alex Giffen, and Sean Stevens are all going to beat that 34 truck out of the box. There's Bubba Winningham. Everybody else topping off on fuel and repairing damage. I don't think John chose to repair his damage. See the 88 still scuffed. Doesn't look bad at all and didn't seem to affect him at all during that last short little run. So they should be coming around to either get the 1 to go or the 2 to go this next time. We are going to take our quick side-by-side break now. First one of the night. Stick with us here on Ghost Racing Network.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com to browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by-request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Back live at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway for the NSRA Sunday Select Series rather. Here on a Sunday night, it's the WOW Video 200. And leading the way here is John Guerra as we get ready to go back green. Not a big field here again tonight if you're just tuning in. Haven't missed too much. Looks like Alex Green retired after that first wreck. A little surprised. 2 fast repairs. Not sure why he left so early. Dawson Wise, the last man out of the pits. He will be rolling off from 18th. Kevin Eagles in the chat says, let's go, Cody. Glad to see you in here, Kevin. Appreciate you stopping by. And so far up to this point, Cody's night been pretty uneventful. Did get caught up in this last incident. Got a little bit of damage on the left side. Wasn't worthy of a fast repair, and I don't think he took one. Fortunately, did cost him some track position. Yeah, he did not take fast repairs. You see just a little bit of a scuff above that left rear tire. But he is back in that 16th spot, now down 15 from where he started. Of course, was on the pole. And I feel like every time that we come to one of these super speedways, you hear other guys talk about it. Cody, just so good on these kind of tracks. It's what he thrives for. I mean, anytime you talk to him, if you said, what do you feel like your best track is and what tracks do you like to dominate at, he will tell you a super speedway. Beauty of the NSRA Sunday Select Series is that is all we run. 80 laps at each super speedway between Daytona and Talladega. Only thing we really change up is the car that we're running. Started out with the Xfinity Series stint, and we are now into our second race for the Truck Series stint. Looking to see if anybody's going to break out in the trucks and maybe struggle in the Xfinity. And we're going to find out tonight. Green flag is back in the air. Maybe just a smidge bit of tire spin or a bump there from Michael Trasquero to Sean Stevens. Looked like he got a little loose and did not get a good jump off the line. That has allowed the 88 of John Guerra to get clear. If he so chooses to drop down, he would have that option right now. But he's not. He's going to stay up. Awaits a push now from Bubba Winningham in the 66. They work off of turn 2 to rocket down the Daytona super stretch. Still trying to draw even. Bubba Winningham trying to get comfortable on the back bumper. The 88. You got to wonder if John Guerra's damage is just ever so slightly affecting him right here. Maybe slowing him down a little bit. The rookie Michael Trasquero is going to hop up, and now Guerra's truck quickly able to pull up to the back bumper. Sean Stevens on the inside. He's going to push from Vicente Guerrero. And the pack has really broken up here, and it continues to kind of break up more and more each caution that we have. And looking from the spotter view, that first main pack is 2x2 back here. You got Russ Hancock, DJ Thomas, Robert Morrison, the 94 of Chad French, Adam Kilday. That's kind of that second pack. They are catching up to that first pack now. Then this third pack is Cody Nagels, Robert Jordan, and Dawson Wise. And those three tend to work with each other a lot, and they have all been involved in a wreck at some point here tonight. So they may have decided that they want to sit back here and just ride for a little bit. And I know they would probably like to see a green flag pit stop. In fact, a lot of these guys would. Michael Triscaro, with the push from John Garrow, was able to drop down to the inside in front of Sean Stevens. And when we talk about the pushing game, it's not going to apply too much right now when you only have two trucks lined up on the outside. They're still waiting for Dana Osborne. Those two are going to fade if they can't get that help soon. But it really just becomes a battle of who can run the other lane out of temperatures first. And when I say that, everybody's got a certain amount of oil temp and water temp that they can get up to before they're in the danger zone of the engine blowing up. And you always get hot if you just continue to push the guy. And at a certain point, it'll get to where it starts blinking red. At that point, you have to back off and let it cool down. Or again, you're going to blow your engine up and probably bring out a caution, get wrecked, have to go use a fast repair. Don't want to have to do any of those things. But if you're Sean Stevens here, for example, on the inside, your main goal is just to keep Michael Triscaro out in front. When he has a surge momentum, you back off, cool the truck down. And the only other times that you're really pushing as of right now is when you feel like maybe there's a run that you can get him and yourself clear. But otherwise, you don't want to have to push any more than you have to. He's doing a masterful job of it for now. Bubba Winningham on the outside, a little bit of an advantage as hold your breath. He gets split in the middle, 3 wide. Don't think that was by design, and it looks like the 343 truck of Russ Hancock's going to pick him up here, cut him a break. Bubba's still stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Overstreet is going to let him drop in. And that shuffles the rookie Michael Triscaro. Not really shuffle, keeps him in the lead, but that does shuffle on the outside line. A little bit of a newer face here up front. Vicente Guerrero is trying to make it work. Now Alex Giffen is also going to jump to the outside. He's trying to get a big side draft off the 27 of Stevens. And that's exactly what he is going to be able to do. Nice move there from the 27 truck. A lot of movement still out back. The 343 of Russ Hancock almost got out of shape right there. And taking a look at the weather. I wonder if track temp has picked up at all. Doesn't look like it. In fact, it looks like it might have cooled down a degree at 68. I think we started at 69. It is now 3:15 a.m. Here's sim time. So at this point, I would say there's a good chance that we do get to see the sun pop up towards the end of the race. And we'll see if that makes the track temp go up at all or potentially stay the same. So your running order as it follows right now. Michael Triscaro leading the way. Alex Giffen in second, leading the outside. Sean Stevens in third. Bubba Winningham and Vicente Guerrero running out your top 5. Overstreet in 6th. John Garrow back in 7th with Dana Osborne in 8th. Russ Hancock in 9th. And now it's going to be Len McNeese switching from 10th tonight. Him and Russ switch spots. Adam Kilday back in 11th. Dusty Burkhart in 12th. DJ Thomas 13th. Robert Morrison in 14th. Chad French in 15th. Cody Nagels back in 16th. Robert Jordan 17th. And the last man still in the field here tonight is going to be Dawson Wise. He currently sits in that 18th position. Taking a ride on board here further towards the back. And this is a ride with Dusty Burkhart. And he's another one of the guys that's just looking to play it safe. Got through the grass earlier in one of the cautions, but hasn't gotten any damage so far here tonight. Just behind him, DJ Thomas. Doesn't look like he's willing to make a move anytime soon. He seems pretty happy and content to run where he is for now. And if you're looking for points, I think your best strategy is going to be to try to go to the front and run there as long as possible. And speaking of points, as we go down here and take a look at your points up to this far in the season, it's Cody Nagels leading the way by a pretty good margin. 5 wins, I believe, already on the season. And actually, no, excuse me, 5 starts. I don't know why I said 5 wins. I was going to say that sounds a little high, but 5 starts for Cody Nagels and leading in points. Bubba Winningham in second in points and trying to keep that or maybe advance his position here tonight as he currently sits third on the back bumper there of Sean Stevens. David Overstreet in third for points. Michael Triscaro fourth. Alex Giffen in fifth. Vicente Guerrero back in sixth. Burkhart in seventh. Robert Jordan in eighth. And then you go down to right around where that bubble is. Dawson Wise currently only 1 point to the good with 4 starts. Adam Kilday currently 1 out of being in the good, and he also has 4 starts. Richard Sanchez, Sean Stevens, all these guys that just need a good run or two, and they can be right back up in it. Dana Osborne, Robert Morrison. It's where you start to creep in that range of these guys really are going to need a win at some point if they want a chance at punching their ticket into the playoffs and potentially fight for some money at the end of the season. We are approaching that halfway mark as of now, or excuse me, and probably about a couple laps here. And you got to wonder when that next pit stop is. Talked about 16 laps on fuel, so if you can remember which lap we went green, you can do it in your head. But based off when they pit, I think that determines the strategy for not whatever group of guys pits first, but probably the entire field for the rest of the race. I mean, if you got guys that pit early on this first pit stop and they make a lot of time, and then everybody else might be in trouble for the rest of the race, but you pit early, it doesn't work out, then you might be trying to play catch-up the whole race, and certainly something that nobody wants to have to do. You want to be up here being able to make moves, being able to race. David Overstreet on the outside in that 68 machine. He is going to get another push here from Bubba Winningham. Those two continue to try to make it work, but they just haven't been able to do so yet. And here's a ride on board, or actually on a screenshot here for David Overstreet, as he just dips down a little bit here and there on a truck that he's trying to get by. He'll just catch a little bit of a side draft. And speaking of pit stops, here we go. They're underway. First round of pit stops, Adam Kilday looks like he's going to lead him in. So far, so good for everybody. They all get in clean. They're all going to get into their box. You can't slide your tires right here. Be a very, very big mistake. And yeah, I'm not seeing any issues. So first group of guys does a nice job on and hopefully off here the pits. Cody Nagels with the preferred boxes. He got the pole, so he gets pit stop number 1. Dawson Wise not far behind in pit stall number 3. And it looks like Vicente Guerrero is going to win the race out of the pits. Michael Triscaro and Cody Nagels drag race, but it looks like Triscaro is going to beat Cody out by just a little bit. Let's go back to the front and see if this other group decides to do the same strategy and pit this time. And keeping an eye on David Overstreet and company. No. None of the guys in this main pack are going to pit this time, so they're going to try to wait. And if I had to guess, I would say probably see if they can make better lap times in this second pack, so that's what we'll try to keep an eye on. The last man in this front pack is going to be Chad French. And currently he is 32 seconds ahead of Vicente Guerrero. And that time is continuing to climb. Not sure if Vicente is by himself as of right now. And he is awaiting help from Michael Triscaro, Nagels, DJ Thomas, and Adam Kilday. We'll see if they go around him here, push him. Looks like they choose to just push. I think that's a pretty smart decision in this case. Everybody's single file. You got to make as much time as possible. And now that gap between Bubba Winningham and all the way back. Actually, do we see some more pit stops right here? We have not yet. And so I meant to rephrase that. And I was going to say the gap that we see now between Chad French and Vicente Guerrero is all the way back to about 35 seconds and continuing to increase for now. So Cody and the rest of the guys that he went in with, they are all going to have to find a way to start making some speed soon, or their strategy might go right out the window. The lead pack, meanwhile, is going to catch a little bit of a draft off the 74 Robert Jordan, who must have gotten a penalty in pits. And that's going to give them just that little bit of extra time that they're going to be able to make up this lap. Down into turn 3. This group's going to have to pit sooner or later, or they're going to run out of fuel. We'll see if we get any takers this time. Giffen still on the bottom. Overstreet looked like he thought about it. And yet again, no moves. Stevens, Overstreet, Winningham, Alex Giffen, Dana Osborne. They all stay out, and they still all got a big group behind them. Looks like the group being led by Vicente Guerrero is maybe just ever so slightly starting to catch up now. Looks like they got it down to almost 33 seconds instead of what was 34 and a half. But that's still a lot of time to have to make up. Granted, they won't have to make up all that. The pit stops will. But their goal here would have been probably to make a second or two if they could have on the rest of the field that is not pit yet. And if you're these guys in the front, you got to keep it on your lap times. If you start losing, there's just not really much of a point in staying out. You're just going to risk losing the draft. I mean, it's a pretty solid strategy with the way they just pit it. It's going to be 2 more stops if you're one of the guys that has not gone in yet. If you already did, then there will be 1 more stop. Overstreet stays out yet again as we are now officially 2 laps over halfway. Robert Jordan talked about him tagging along to the back of this pack, and Robert Morrison tagging along to the back of the other pack. So we really just have 2, I'd say, medium-sized single-file drafts throughout the field right now. And they are both trying to catch each other. Well, one of them is trying to catch the other, and one of them is trying to race the clock. As they come off of turn 2, David Overstreet not considering a pit stop this lap, I wouldn't think. But we'll see. This could be the lap. I mean, any lap could be lap at this point all about the waiting game. Sean Stevens, though, has been doing a great job still pushing the back of that 68 truck. Now, when it gets out to the pits here, that's where it can get a little sketchy. One of them is going to have to drop low. One of them is going to have to stay high. We're not going to have to worry about it this time either. Again, nobody goes in. We still have about 10 trucks out here running in this main pack. Now, granted, are all 10 of them on the lead lap? No. But even lap cars can have a big effect in the outcome of a game. We've seen it time and time again. And we could potentially see it here tonight. But this line becoming all single file, now I'm starting to think that this lap could be the pit stop lap. You can't go in the pits double file, at least not until you get pretty slowed down to pit road speed. So they all get single filed out, going to give each other the signals. And right now I think Stevens and David Overstreet are going to be your power pair to watch here tonight. We've seen a couple other ones, including, I would say, Dawson Wise and Cody Nagels at the start of the race. Fortunately, that did not last too long for now. And here is the big group, last group to have to pit. Robert Jordan stays out. He already did pit. And the question is, can all these guys get into the pits clean and then into their box clean? Look like a little bit of a slow entry for most of these guys, but just playing it conservative. They don't want to make a mistake that could potentially cost them the rest of the race. The 99 of Giffen, the 8 of Osborne, and the 27 of Sean Stevens all going to slide into their box. So is David Overstreet. And let's hop over to the pit lane 2 camera. And watch for this group here. They're already pit. There they are into the tribal now, and it's a pretty short, I would say, access road here to get back onto the track, but it's still going to cost these guys time because it's not banked. And, you know, I say it's a pretty short access road. I mean more narrow in the sense of, and then with it not being banked, these guys have to creep off of it so slowly that it allows that front pack to just go flying by. And honestly, what it looks like here is be able to pull away as well. Dana Osborne may have gotten a penalty right there for getting his left side tires up just a little bit too soon. We'll see if he gets black flagged or is able to continue at the front. And so I know I said these guys would have to pit one more time. And I think they're actually going to have to pit 2 more times. So I had that mistaken. I think I thought it was to lap 70 for some reason for a minute. Even though I knew on the tower it said 80. So yeah, everybody should have to pit 2 more times. Even if from right here you went to lap 60. You still have to pit again. That'd be 16 laps. They might have to pit a 3rd time, depending on how far they go right here. If they're able to go, if they could go to anywhere probably around 52 or 53, that might give them their best shot here. We'll have to see. But right now, it is still all Vicente Guerrero and Michael Trisquero leading the way here at Daytona. 45 laps complete. Cody Nagels up to 3rd now. DJ Thomas in 4th. Dawson Wise rounding at your top 5. Robert Morrison in 6th. Adam Kilday 7th. Dana Osborne in 8th. David Overstreet in 9th. Sean Stevens running out your top 10. There's Dusty Burkhart in 11th. Russ Hancock in 12th. Bubba Winningham back in 13th with Chad French in 14th. John Guerra in 15th. Alex Giffen in 16th. Len McNeese in 17th. And Robert Jordan rounding out your 18-player field that we still have here tonight after, of course, the quick retirement for Alex Green after he was involved in that first incident. And there's that second group. I wonder if they're making much, if any, time right now. Take a look at the end of that one back group. It looks like it's about just under 4.5 seconds right now from Dana Osborne, the leader of that second pack, to your leaders. And remember, if he can get within about 1.5 seconds, that's where you really start to pull draft, and you can make a lot of headway in a short amount of time here at these super speedways. Across the line, Cody continues to lead. We are going to take another quick break. Go side by side, though, so you don't miss a thing.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com. Browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by-request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Back live at Daytona International Speedway here for the WOW Video 200 for the NSRA Sunday Select Series. 49 of 80 laps complete. Looks like Matthew Baker hopping in here. What's up, Baker? How you doing today? He says, what's up? Let's go, Mikey. Rooting on Michael Triscaro, who still leads the way. That whole pit cycle was what really, I would say, shook everything up for us. And we're expecting one more of those pit stops. Now, with only 19 trucks, I didn't think it'd break up the packs this much. Speaking of that breakup in the pack, I don't know how much longer this breakup is going to last. Looking from the back of this pack right here, Vicente Guerrero back to, Adam Kilday to Dana Osborne. They keep cutting it down. It was at over 4 seconds before we went to break. It's now down to 3.5, and they're continuing to make some time here. I think the hardest part about this is when the lead pusher, in this case David Overstreet, eventually starts to get hot. How does the line decide to go about it? I've seen sometimes where the 68 will just manage 10s by himself. At other times, they'll switch out, either have the 8 truck fall to the back or have the 68 fall to the back, and just kind of try to keep cycling things to get to a point where they got up there without losing any momentum the whole time. DJ Thomas, Cody Nagels, Michael Triscaro, Dawson Wise, those are all guys that are generally working together. We see it each and every week for the most part. Robert Morrison is tagged along with these guys. So is Vicente Guerrero. Adam Kilday. I think Adam Kilday is probably the main guy in there that doesn't see these guys. Again, we don't really have teams here in the NSRA Sunday Select Series, but you do have certain guys that tend to work with certain guys. And that's kind of what we just saw there with what is formerly known as Limitless. But tonight, they're just a bunch of drivers going for the win. You see that second group. I mean, they are bearing down on them. If you go to screenshot 2 view, you see them in the same camera view. And as this line continues to get longer, as it looks like they're picking up 2 lap trucks, that is really, really going to help this second pack get all the way up here and potentially get back with the leaders. Let's try to look at the gap, and it was closing down. Right now, it's at just over 3.5 seconds. And it looks like Vicente Guerrero, it's actually closed down. I take it back. Dana Osborne and David Overstreet continue to push their way up. Those 2 trucks, in this case Vicente Guerrero and Robert Jordan, them hanging back just slightly. Again, it's going to help that second group once they get probably within about 2 3/4 of your leader. They'll make the move work. Talking about where we head next here on Ghost Racing Network real quick. We'll hop over there. So the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series tomorrow night, opening up the round of 12 with the Texas Fall 200. It's going to be a good race. I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people don't like it. Texas, one of my favorite tracks. We'll talk more about this in a minute, but back live, pit stops are underway, so we're going to cut that segment short. Triscaro, I think he may have blew it there. He was flying into the pits. I don't think he quite got it slowed down in time. We're going to find out right here, depending on how long that truck is on the jacks. And this is that first cycle of pit stop. So now they'll be able to make it to about lap 70, maybe just a little bit short. So again, there's going to be one more scheduled green flag pit stop. And Michael Triscaro busted by the speeding police. Too fast entering. And the 34 truck was looking like such a promising night for the rookie. He's going to need a caution here, and he's going to need one soon if he wants to keep his chances alive. So what is now the front pack, which was that second pack, we'll see when they decide to pit. Now, the good news for them is, theoretically, they should have to take less fuel here based off of that last pit stop. And if they do choose to take less fuel right here, then they will probably merge and catch up to that second pack, and that'll put the strategies back to even for now. But I think these guys should go in as soon as possible. The longer they stay out, again, the less fuel they'll have to take on that final stop, which could potentially be where they're hoping to make up all their ground. The 69 of Dusty Burkhart and a couple other guys right there. You saw the checkup, and that's going to cause a wreck. Will it bring out the caution? The 94 up into the wall. Looks like Chad French was able to gather it back up. He's going to hop down to the apron here and get back rolling. And that was almost another caution. Let's back it up. Man, that got really, really scary for just a minute. Oh, and now the yellow flag's out. Hold on just a minute. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I'm assuming it's for this incident. So we will go ahead and look at this incident, assuming for now that it's what brought caution out. He has a big stack up. I did not realize just how much that amplified once we got further back. So why does Dana Osborne ever jump high right here? Does Overstreet jump low? It looks like Dana's honestly riding a little high right here. I've seen if we could go take a look at Dana a little bit more. And yeah, watch how he's on the bottom, and then he just kind of washes up here. And now he's riding the middle of the track. It's a little odd. So David Overstreet says, okay, I'll drop low. Causes a little bit of a checkup out back. He gets amplified, and then the 94 of Chad French there, getting the worst of it, finally was enough of a stack up that he got turned from it. You saw him first get up into the outside wall before he came down, and I believe he collects somebody. There it is. Boom, some contact, and then down into Len McNeese. Goes through the grass, saves to gets back on track, and then the 94 doesn't get any further damage here, gets down to the apron again. Thought he was going to be fine right there, but the caution ended up flying anyway. And there's Michael Triscaro getting back up to speed. That was a big break for him. But, yeah, not exactly sure. I'm assuming that was what the caution was for. Surprised to see it come out again that late, but it could be that it's admin throwing cautions in. You might notice in the distance, looks like the sky is starting to get just a little bit light towards the west end of the speedway. Excuse me, east end of the speedway. I cannot believe I just said that, towards the east end of the speedway out of turn 4. And that would match up. Taking a look at the time, it is now just about 6 o'clock sim time. By the time this race is over, that sun might be peeking over the turn 4 wall. But it is now 25 laps to go. Everybody going to come in and top off on fuel. I was trying to see here if Michael Triscaro potentially got the lucky dog or took the wave around. And I think he did get the lucky dogs. It's showing him back on that lead lap now. So that's a good break for him. Everybody's going to have to pit at least one more time here with 25 to go. Finishing up on the segment earlier, the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series, yes, and does indeed. Tomorrow, head to Texas Motor Speedway. And Texas, one of those tracks, I think it's going to be fun to watch. There's a lot of more racing than people realize there. A very technical track through turns 1 and 2, high speed, low grip through 3 and 4. And the Cup cars, they move around there. The speeds are in the mid 190s on fresh tires, so make sure you come stop by, just check it out nonetheless. And then tonight, if anybody's interested, Ron Morris Jr. coming up shortly after this, Sunday Fun Day. And that'll probably be just after the conclusion of this race. So some of these guys that I know will be in it, Cody Nagels, maybe Dawson Wise. Make sure you go check it out. Going to be at, I believe, Talladega and probably the Xfinity cars. And then looking a little bit further ahead, Tuesday, RMR might have something hosted. Thursday, we're back with the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. And then next Saturday, NOMA is back as well for a stretch of 3 very, very exciting tracks. I think that's where it kicks off at Indy. And then talking about the schedule here for the very own NSRA Sunday Select Series. After tonight, they are going to stay in the Truck Series next week, but they're going to head back to Talladega Super Speedway. It's going to be another day race. And then they go back to Legacy Daytona. So we'll be back here, but on the bumpy version for the last race in the Truck Series. Then we're going to head back to the Xfinity Series, back to the trucks after that for 2 races at Daytona, followed by Xfinity, and then looking ahead to November 12th. It's going to be the All-Star Race LCQ format, and that is going to be in the ARCA cars. A little something different. Those cars are able to push really, really aggressive. And then the round of 16, round of 8, and round of 4, all the same. The biggest news out of all those is that the round of 4 is going to be in the Xfinity Series. Matthew Baker says trucks, and I'm assuming that's for the Sunday Fun Day series that Ron Morris Jr. put on just after this. Okay. I got to be honest. I was thinking about running it after this. We'll have to see if I want to lose $20 here tonight or not. But nonetheless, I'm assuming you're probably running it, Baker. So 24, and sure enough, got the one to go. So this is going to be it. And man, the sun has came up quick here. I thought it'd be by the end of the race, much less here in 2 laps. It is already just about full brightness outside. Light's going to be shutting off as this is an odd look too. It's got to feel weird as a driver starting the race at night and ending it in the day, especially in like the NASCAR series. But my pick here to win tonight, I'm going to go a little bit of a dark horse here, and I'm going to say David Overstreet. And I don't say dark horse because there's any lack of anything, but he just seems like it's been going good for him tonight. He's been up there trying to lead. He's been up there pushing a lot of guys. I think tonight's the night he makes the move at the right time, and Maybe gets himself his first win of the season in that country time. Pink number 68 Chevy Silverado. Dana Osborne's not going to give it to him too easy. You know, Bubba Winningham, Dusty Burkhart, two more drivers that are looking for their first win of the season. They're going to be going for it. But again, there's going to be two mindsets here. Usually you'd hear me say with 25 laps to go, it's go time. You got to start going, get to the front and hold it there. But with there being that one more pit stop, maybe everybody does try to keep it calm. Maybe everybody's hoping that we do see that one more pit cycle, We're about to find out. Here we go. We're going to do a little crank it up for the restart and the following couple laps. 23 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. And that's going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. Hope everybody did enjoy. 21 laps to go, and David Overstreet now leading the way on the outside line. Dana Osborne trying to lead it on the inside line. Burkhart, Bubba Winningham, no change there, but looking further back, you can definitely tell some of these guys know that we have another pit stop. Dawson Wise, Cody Nagels, they're all sitting patiently on the inside, and that is by design. If this race didn't have a pit stop left in it, there is no chance that you would see guys as aggressive as Cody sitting back, just kind of riding it around right now. They're going to be to the front here by the end of this thing. We did have a couple more guys retire from the race. Alex Green from earlier, we saw that. Chad French still stuck in the pits. Not sure if he didn't have a fast pair or what. And Michael Triscaro, not sure what happened here either with the 34, unless it was something that we maybe missed. Sure. Yeah, again, not sure what happened with the 34, but yeah, he is way behind the field. Currently coming out of turn 4 as the field's entering 1. Chad French just now getting back out on track, and Robert Jordan, the last place running car in the pack right now, currently sitting in 16th, and he is the first car a lap down. Yeah, Triscaro is still being scored a lap down. That's what it is. And so both of those two technically fighting for the lucky dog. Triscaro would need Robert Jordan to be involved in a wreck here in order to get that lucky dog spot. And David Overstreet decided to drop to the bottom. I think that was a good choice. Sun continuing to rise, and you got to wonder here, is it potentially going to start to affect these drivers here? The brighter it gets, we'll take a ride on board a little bit further towards the back of the pack so we can see all the action here along with that sun. And it's going to affect them most, if anything, down the back straightaway. And you see 3 wide, it's not going to work. We got some contact. This is going to be a wreck. And do they all save it? Osborne, are you kidding me? Dana Osborne, does he hold on? He does. Wow, the 8 truck was just about 90 degrees sideways, it looked like, from the cockpit view. One of the trucks further back, but he saved it. They all saved it. Let's go back and take a look at that one. Oh, my goodness. And I know a couple of these guys' heart skipped a few beats through that. Holy moly. All right, so this is getting down into turn 1. Let's take a look from the spotter view. They get 3 wide. Now, how did they get 3 wide? I think Dana decides to pull out a line here. He's trying to make a move on Overstreet. And yeah, sure enough, There you go. Dana Osborne says, all right, I'm going to jump up here. Bubba Winningham says, no, thank you. I'm going to take you 3 wide. Once Bubba gets up top, that puts Dana in the middle of 3 wide as they get in the corner here. The 99 of Alex Giffen riding a little low, and Alex riding a little too low there. Gets Dana Osborne a little bit of right rear net code there by riding that close, and that sends the 8 up into the 99, puts the 99 in the wall. Robert Jordan's going to duck down to the apron here. Cody Nagels, they all slow up back until the wall goes to 99 as him and the 8 make some more contact. Dana Osborne never got super sideways, but had to do a lot of correcting through his steering there, and somehow was able to save it. Back up front, I was wondering if it would take them a minute to all get back lined up, but it has not. They are all indeed back lined up. And back right at the front, a little more contact though right there between Bubba Winningham and Dusty Burkhart. And we're going to try this again, see if we can take a ride on board here real quick. Your leader, who is now Len McNeese. And from the cockpit view, you see that sun on the exit of turn number 2. It's starting to get bright. Maybe going to affect some of these drivers just a little bit in your eyes too as you go down the entire back straightaway. But they keep working for now. That sun's going to get a little bit brighter through these next 17 laps or so. That outside line has fallen to 2 trucks. Now the fuel window rather, is going to open right at this next lap. Not this lap, but next lap. I don't know if we'll see anybody go in right as it opens with 16 laps to go, as Bubba Winningham here actually looked like he thought about splitting Dana Osborne. He quickly thinks better of it. And taking another look, there is Bubba Winningham. Got to see him a couple times today. Carrick, one of our driver onboard cameras here tonight, looking for his first win of the season and working extra hard here on top. You got to wonder how long can he continue to push before he runs out of temps. Looking at the weather outside, track temp is going to start to slowly warm up now. Actually cooled down a little bit more at 60. Looks like it's at 66, and of course makes sense in general. The coolest time of the day is going to be just about sunrise, just before sunrise actually. I think it's just before or just after. The point is, track temp's going to have to start going up here sooner or later. And here comes your first round of pit stops for the final pit stop. Everybody trying to get in there as quick as possible. The fresher Goodyears, making that task a little bit easier. Looks like Vicente Guerrero that's going to lead him in. And Cody Nagels just behind. They're all going to get into their box. Again, final stop, so you got to make sure that you weren't speeding and that you do everything right. It looks like this group did a pretty good job of that. And looking at the pit lane cam here, it is going to be Vicente Guerrero winning the race out. Here comes one of the lap trucks. Is that the 94 of Chad French? It looks like it is. So staying out here, Bubba Winningham and company, David Overstreet, Dana Osborne, Dusty Burkhart, and Len McNeese. A couple others too, Sean Stevens. We'll see if they decide to pit this time or stay out. They seem to have kind of stuck with the counter strategy for the entirety of the race here tonight, doing everything the opposite of what, again, I don't really want to say team, but what the guys that we would call limitless, and I'm just going to have to say it, the guys that generally tend to work together as a team there, all those limitless guys plus a couple more. And it seems to be working pretty well so far. Fortunately, they did lose a little bit of time during that one pit cycle, but it did get them back out in front after that restart. So if we get a caution, I think it definitely works out. If we don't, that's where things maybe get a little sketchy right here on how long do you really want to wait before you pit. They're continuing, though, to stay out for now. We'll see if they come in this time, as they have gotten single file. Overstreet dropped back a couple spots. Bubba Winningham would lead them in, and they are going to come in this time. All 6 of them, rather. And they're going to fan out. The 8 of Dana Osborne really drives it in deep. And he did a nice job getting on there as fast as he could. Overstreet gained a couple positions. It looks like he got past Burkhart and Winningham. And it is now 13 laps to go. We're going to pull up the track map, keep an eye on it. And the 7th place position being led by Vicente Guerrero, currently working his way out of turn 4. This group's going to have to really hustle. And taking a look at the pit lane cam here, see where they come out. The other group now coming through the tri-oval, and they absolutely are going to smoke them here on the pit cycles. A lot of bridge trucks, though, so that may allow this group that came in late to still tag on. But, I mean, you look here at what was some of your leaders. It's going to be a little closer than I thought, actually. I'm going to take that back. If you're Dana Osborne, he might be able to hold on. It's going to be close. I think the bigger question is going to be, do they have enough time to catch back up? Osborne currently sitting at 1.5 seconds back from Adam Kilday. And that's going to fade a little bit more. As actually Osborne dropped to the apron there. Not sure why, but he's going to jump in line behind. So you had Robert Morrison and Robert Jordan who went by. It looks like Russ Hancock and Osborne, they'll get linked up. They'll catch those two trucks. Then behind them, Overstreet, Len McNeese, Bubba Winningham, and everybody else, they're all going to catch up. So I think there's a good chance that within these next 12 laps, this pack all condenses kind of back down into one. But until then, everybody's going to have to make sure that they do a nice job of cooperating. You can't make any big mistakes here. Just push the guy in front of you. If you're the second truck in line, if you're the third truck, stay close to everybody else. Just try to keep a nice smooth wheel. And if they're lucky, they might get up there. Look at your scoring tower there on the left. That's what you need to keep an eye on. The gap between Kilday and Morrison. And you see, as of right now, it's about 3.5 seconds. And Robert Morrison now leading the pack. Michael Triscaro and Alex Giffen were making a lot of ground there on the outside for a minute. And these guys getting side by side like this. Triscaro getting a little bit aggressive right there with the block. Overstreet into the outside wall. He's trying to save it. And are they going to let him back down? Sure enough, they do. Len McNeese cuts him a break. That was a close call for this second pack. I know that Vicente Guerrero, looking for his first win of the season, does not want to see a caution right now. He's only got to worry about 6 trucks. That's a lot easier than worrying about probably 15 to 19. But they are still 3 wide back here. The harder they race, the less chance they have of catching this front pack, and the more chances they have of getting themselves involved in a wreck. Overstreet's now going to drop to the inside. Michael Triscaro was maybe fighting to lead this line in case they got there. He could get a lap back, but just doesn't look like there's really a lot to gain right now. Michael Triscaro, of course, still fighting for being a lap down. The speeding penalty he got earlier ruined what was such a good night, and now Dana Osborne, man, all out of whack there, trying to get in front of Michael Triscaro. Not sure if there was some net code there or if he just tried to jump up and was not clear. And there is a lot of bobbing and weaving going around as Michael Triscaro does not want to be patient and sit in line right here. David Overstreet is, I think, trying to let him in, but Triscaro is having a little bit of a time here. Let's take a ride on board here with Michael Triscaro. And let's see if we can actually go to the onboard here for just a moment for Michael Triscaro. Sits to the outside, and you see that inside line kind of snaking around a little bit. Michael Triscaro just riding around the outside. He knows he's going to need a caution here. Now David Overstreet's going to jump to the outside. Triscaro's going to perk up a little bit here. He wants to race. He's going to get to the back bumper of that number 68 truck. Back up front, the man with the best view in the house right now is indeed Vicente Guerrero and that 14 truck. He's got the 20 of DJ Thomas behind him, Cody Nagels, John Guerra, Dawson Wise, and Adam Kilday. The last trucks in this lead pack, and I think we see John Guerra make a move. I would think Dawson Wise follows, and I think Adam Kilday will also go, and that could make this a 3-on-3 tandem battle to decide the winner. But with 9 laps to go, they're just going to continue to stay in line and try to make time, which they're doing an excellent job of right now. Looks like Russ Hancock has got around Robert Morrison, and they have lost over 2 seconds since the last time we checked in on that gap. Now back to almost 6 seconds worth of time to make up. And each lap that goes by without a gain makes it look more and more unlikely without a caution that anybody else is going to get to these guys. We see Vicente Guerrero runs a good race each and every week, but the problem with super speedways is you can be consistent as a driver. Doesn't mean that you're going to get out of being in a wreck. And we've seen Vicente get caught up in a lot of wrecks, especially during the Xfinity stint, where he like change of luck here during the truck stint. And you see these guys are in the same camera view. The difference is you see this front line here, single file and running fast. That back group, double file and not quite getting the best lap times that they could right here. Going to be coming to 7 laps to go this time, and I know we still got a ways to it, but remember, if we make it to the white flag lap, there will be no more cautions, and this race will be official. So I think these guys would probably wait until then. Maybe you see John Guerra peek out a little bit sooner. Now, DJ Thomas has a win. Cody Nagels has a win. Vicente Guerrero does not, and those 3 guys do work together. So I wouldn't be shocked here if DJ and Cody stay in line. I know they're in the same Discord, probably talking to each other, deciding how they want to go about it. But again, John Guerra, he's looking for his first win. He is no part of this organization or friendship, whatever you want to call it. So he is going to try to find a way around him on the last lap, maybe 2 to go, to see if he can't steal it. And Dawson Wise is going to be the big key factor as yellow flag is out. Take a guess where this one happened at. I'm going to say that second group. And sure enough, Dusty Burkhart, trouble. And, ooh, 74 of Robert Jordan, who was a lap down, is also involved in this. And that could be big for Michael Triscaro if he wasn't involved, because I believe that would give him the lucky dog position. And it brings out your 6th caution of the night with 6 laps to go. Let's go take a look here. What happens? Oh, looks like it happens on the back straightaway. And we had saw these guys racing really aggressive, so to a degree, I'm almost not surprised. But here we go. All good, no harm, no foul, and then a checkup is what's going to start it here. Now, what causes the checkup, though? Michael Triscaro gets the back bumper of David Overstreet, gives him a little bit of an offset push, maybe a slight checkup, and again, just amplifies out back. And 69 and Len McNeese, they both make contact. As I think the 69, Dusty Burkhart, was the man trying to save it. Yeah, he was. McNeese with the checkup. 69 gets down into Robert Jordan, back up the track into Len McNeese, and that sends both of those trucks up into the outside wall. Hard contact for Robert Jordan. That's going to be a fast pair for him if he's got one. Let's take a couple more angles of it. Taking a look here at the cockpit view. This is Dusty Burkhart. Watch his hands. There's the tap. That second movement was a little interesting. It seemed like he would have had it saved. It's right under the chopper. And looking at the chopper view, there's a 69 of Dusty here. Watch. There's the contact. Now right here, he's got it saved. And then a secondary left turn is what finishes it off. Now, you know, we've seen these trucks time and time again, how tricky they get sometimes with saving it. And I'm thinking what happened here for Dusty is, again, everything's moving so quick. He was probably thinking it was going to overcorrect itself, tried to account for it and just accounted a little bit too much. Show it to you one more time here at full speed. And just doesn't take much. 69 comes to a stop in the grass. I don't think his damage was too bad. I think he'll be able to continue on. Nonetheless, this is going to be borderline on whether this puts us into an overtime finish or a natural green-white checkered. Either way, it'll be at least 3 laps to go when we go green, potentially 2. Sorry, at least 2 laps to go, potentially 3. And we'll see if we get the one-go signal this time. That would determine it. And as it stands right now, you got Vicente Guerrero leading, showing Cody Nagels in 2nd. DJ Thomas back in 3rd. John Garrett to his outside in 4th. Dawson Wise sitting 5th. Adam Kilday 6th. Russ Hancock 7th. David Overstreet in 8th with Robert Morrison in 9th. And Sean Stevens rounding out your top 10. Alex Giffen back in 11th. Bubba Winningham in 12th. Len McNeese 13th. Dusty Burkhart in 14th. Dana Osborne taking that 15th position. Michael Triscaro doesn't look like he's gotten his lap back yet. You see him on the outside. We'll see if he maybe gets the lucky dog wave around right here. And I would have thought he would. He may have gotten some contact during the wreck. That may have been the reason he didn't get it if he doesn't here. Yeah, that's a tough break for Michael, because that is what it's starting to look like. Yeah, 34 is going to have to fall back, so he did not get the lucky dog. Doesn't look like anybody did. So Robert Jordan was in the wreck, and Michael Triscaro must have got an X during it. So he is currently still sitting 16th. Robert Jordan 17th. Chad French 18th. He is off track again. And then Alex Green, who retired earlier, of course, finishing last tonight in that 19th position. We did get the one-to-go signal, so it is going to be 3 laps to go to decide a winner. It looks like DJ Thomas is actually going to be lining up in 2nd. Cody Nagels 3rd. Vicente's got to feel a little bit more secure with who he's got behind him. But John Guerra, he knows that DJ Thomas has already got a win on the season. I don't know if he just necessarily is going to push him here to another one. We'll see, but this is how you decide to either make friends, enemies. You got to either go for the win or just kind of see what happens. But sometimes just being in the position of just being the pusher and being okay with it, you'd be amazed how many times the seas kind of just part here at a track like Daytona or Talladega. Things open up on the last lap and you find yourself in victory lane when you weren't even planning on it. Remember, this race started at before 12 o'clock midnight sim time, and it is now 9 in the morning sim time. So with the way the speed has gone, we have almost went through what has been an 8-hour race up to this point. Actually more, about a 10. We might get to a 12-hour race here, technically via sim time. Of course, not in real life at all before this thing's all said and done, but we're getting ready to crown a winner here. 3 laps to go. Everybody's going to have a lap to get up to speed and 2 laps to race it out. Remember, if we make it to that white flag 2 laps from now, then we will be official and this race will be over. All right, back into the restart zone. Probably going to go on green as my guess here. Vicente Guerrero back through the gears, gets a good jump. Cody Nagels on his bumper. But a little bit of a stack up now, and that outside's going to start to surge. John Guerra, what is he going to do here? How long does he stay behind DJ Thomas? Who else is going to make the move? Keep an eye on the pink and yellow truck of David Overstreet. You know, he's got to be thinking in his head about making a move. The question is just going to be, when does he make it? Adam Kilday, Sean Stevens. How about Sean Stevens? Would he like to win the race in his own sponsored race? Be a pretty cool thing to get done. Inside starting to stack up. Thomas now with a big run. He's going to get clear. Does he drop low? Not yet. He's going to stay on the outside here. John Guerra continues to push. Into turn 3 they go. The 20 truck washes up just a little bit. The middle got opened up. Overstreet's going to dump off Adam Kilday. Here comes the 68 of David Overstreet. Does he jump to the outside? Not yet. We got a couple trucks starting to swerve now as they're going to fan out 3 wide through the tri-oval. 2 laps to go at Daytona. David Overstreet to the top lane he goes. 3 wide down to the short chute into turn 1. DJ Thomas still leading the middle. John Guerra, if he wants to jump up, he's going to have to make the move now. Staying in line as it is, though. Vicente Guerrero still getting a good push on the bottom. Third lane's going to fade now. No help, only 2 trucks. And this will be the white flag next time here if we can make it to line. Overstreet continuing to try to make it work. He's got another surge of momentum. Michael Triscaro's trying to get on that third lane. A little bit of an indecision right here. Big indecision. It's going to cause the big one. Here we go. Big wreck. The 838 involved the 88s. The 84 down the track. Cody Nagels is in it. Adam Kilday involved. Dana Osborne. David Overstreet. Guerra in the background just now gets it rolling. Robert Jordan off the track. So is Alex Giffen. We got another truck back here that is smoking. I think that's Dawson Wise. Ticking time bomb, and you just saw some of the indecisions there as we started to go down the backstretch, and you knew something like this was going to happen, and that is going to definitely be the big one here for the night. Let's go take a look at it. Brings out your 7th caution of the night with 3 to go. It's going to send us into our first green-white checkered. And let's back this up a little bit. And in the middle here, so this is, let me break this down a little bit more. We're going to pause that for just a minute. Going from the chopper view, so this is where things start to get a little dicey here. Going into turn 3, John Guerra and Sean Stevens, they're right in the middle lane, but they're going to start to creep up. There's already a third lane being formed with David Overstreet and Adam Kilday. They continue to creep up. Now, at this point, they're considered in that third lane. You see Sean Stevens, he's going to duck low. David Overstreet tucks in behind, says, okay, this is our third lane. And now Sean Stevens, he's there. He's there. John Guerra starts to creep down a little bit. DJ Thomas follows. And then Sean Stevens goes down a little bit more, trying to maybe give them a little bit of extra room, but just no more room to go down. He gets down into Cody Nagels. They make some contact. I think he also got down into Dawson at the same time. That's going to send the 27 back up the track. Cody trying to save it. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to hold on to it as he goes back down the track. Dawson Wise T-bones him. He's got nowhere to go. There's John Guerra up top collecting Dana Osborne. David Overstreet, wow, big hit for Dawson Wise. I mean, destroyed the front end of that truck. Same thing for Len McNeese. Saw him slam the inside wall. Take a couple more looks at this one here. Man, oh man. We probably had about 3/4 of the field, remaining field at least, collected in that. Taking a look here from the static cam. You knew it had to happen at some point, and just, like I said, a couple guys being a little bit indecisive about which lane they wanted to go to, and Sean Stevens was just trying to maybe give a little bit of extra room, but unfortunately it was just too tight. And they all ran out of room eventually. There's the onboard from Dawson Wise, who took that big, big hit. He slid back down the track. You hear the engine expire. So as we head back up front, going to be coming to the one to go this time. It's still Vicente Guerrero leading. DJ Thomas, though, now being scored second. No change there. Sean Stevens, that's where the first change is going to be. He sits in third. Robert Morrison back in fourth. He's got a little damage on his truck. Alex Giffen back in fifth. Dusty Burkhart sixth. Dana Osborne in seventh with David Overstreet in eighth. Adam Kilday in ninth. And Cody Nagels still currently rounding out your top 10 even after the incident. He does have, I believe he's going to have one more fast repair remaining. Everybody does have two. And taking just a quick peek, we do only have two green-white checkers. I know I had three listed in the race info, but with that, we'll see if everybody can get it cleaned up and see if we can get this thing finished right here. Kevin Nagel says, go get it, Vicente. You have one of the best pushers in the game, and that was in reference to Cody Nagels. And that's, you're not kidding on that part. And Cody, I think he was committed right there to pushing Vicente. Fortunately, it didn't quite work out that time. I'm sure we'll see Cody back up here along with David Overstreet, who had a phenomenal run right there. I thought he was going to have a chance of getting to the front. The third line just really didn't form up, which was a little odd looking. I thought it would, but just never quite did. You see track temp now starting to really heat up. It's the biggest change we have seen so far, now up over or almost 10 degrees. What we saw last time we checked it when it was at 66 just after sunrise. And so now handling might start to change a little bit for these guys, but what that might help is that top line start to roll. So I think we'll see David Overstreet continue to try it. And now if he does jump to the third, I think Cody will 100% go with him. Everybody that's still watching, appreciate you tuning in. I think we started the stream with only about one viewer. I'm not sure if it's Sunday Night Football or what the deal is, but up to 14 to finish this thing off. Everybody's having a good night, and I might be getting annoying up here in the booth, but we appreciate everybody that's still sitting in here watching us. So DJ Thomas, the rookie, the winner of Daytona, the first race of the season, versus one of the veterans, Vicente Guerrero in the 14 truck. Knows how to get it done. Has been in the playoffs plenty of times. We can only crown one winner here tonight. And who is it going to be? Back to Talladega next week. Guys that would like to have a chance at going for the sweep. Going to have to get at least one of them here at Daytona. Have to get one at Talladega, and then, of course, win it at Legacy Daytona. Dusty Burkhart back in the 69. Robert Morrison. I don't know if I see Morrison jumping out of line. Again, damage didn't look to be too bad, but it was certainly enough to where maybe that truck's a little bit slower in the lead. We'll see how content he is to be, though, the lead pusher. All right, here we go. Pace car is going to make another hard left turn. It's going to be a two-lap shootout, overtime number one. Back into the restart zone we go. Green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go at Daytona. A pretty good start from Vicente Guerrero. A little bit of wheel spin on the outside line. DJ Thomas quickly through the gears, though, recovers nicely. Big push from Sean Stevens on the inside. It's going to give Vicente Guerrero everything he's got these last 2 laps. See if he can't get himself clear in the process. And Vicente jumps up to the top. He knows he's got some help up there if he does it, and sure enough, that's going to allow Dusty Burkhart, David Overstreet, they're going to peek out, look to see if they can't get this third line rolling. Robert Morrison looking to throw a block. I think he also wants to go 3 wide. Sean Stevens, though, he's got the momentum now on the inside, getting a push from Alex Giffen, Dawson Wise, and looks like Robert Jordan further back trying to make some moves. They are 3 wide on the top. Cody Nagels waiting to see if his teammates get up there. Will Overstreet make the move now? There goes Dusty Burkhart. This time looks like Robert Morrison not able to jump out just yet, but here we go. White flag is in the air one more time around Daytona. Down the short chute into one to that third lane. Only 2 trucks right now, still not able to get formed up. Cody left him hanging. He is continuing to try to make leeway through the middle right now. Will he jump up in front of Dusty Burkhart? No move yet from the 6 truck. He stays content where he is. Now he jumps up. Final time down the Daytona super stretch. Vicente Guerrero still in the middle. Now he jumps back down to the bottom in front of Sean Stevens. That's going to open the door now for the rookie. Can DJ Thomas get his second win here at Daytona? Final time through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Cody Nagels out of nowhere on the top. Final gas. What does Robert Morrison have? They're going to come down to the line 3 by 3. The inside with the advantage, though. Cody, one more big push. Is it enough? It is not. Vicente Guerrero wins it at Daytona, and they all wreck after the line. Not first career, but first win of the season for Vicente Guerrero, and it comes at the World Center of Racing. Cody Nagels, what an impressive comeback from almost to first there right at the end. Margin of victory, 4/100ths of a second. And it was a clean finish, and it was a phenomenal finish. Let's go back and take a look at this one off of turn 4. See if we can go to TV3 for it. Field roaring off of 4. You see the middle lane just started to die out, which was kind of surprising. It seemed like it was such a strong lane for so long. And then into the tribal final gas right here. And does the outside get disconnected? Oh, they don't. Dusty Burkhardt is right on the back of Cody Nagels. Just not quite enough to get there in time. Credit to Sean Stevens there. The phenomenal push to Vicente Guerrero. And not a win by much, but just by enough. DJ Thomas comes in third, so technically it would be a limitless 1, 2, 3. And then the wreck after the line did not matter. At that point, we had already crowned a winner. Let's take a look here at your finishing results here for the night as we go back live. See if Vicente Guerrero is burning it down. Sure enough, he is. So Vicente gets the win here tonight. Cody Nagels brings home second. Sean Stevens in third. DJ Thomas back and forth with Dusty Burkhardt in fifth. Alex Giffen in sixth. Robert Morrison in seventh. David Overstreet in eighth. Dana Osborne finishes ninth. Dawson Wise in 10th. John Guerra back in 11th. It's going to be Adam Kilday in 12th, Robert Jordan in 13th, Russ Hancock in 14th with Bubba Winningham in 15th, Michael Triscaro in 16th, Len McNeese in 17th, Chad French in 18th. Rounding out the field tonight was Alex Green in 19th. We're going to go see if we can get interviews from your top 3. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Daytona. All right, we're going to start here first with your third place finisher, Sean Stevens. Sean, this is all stuff in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. Well, you bring home the third place finish. Man, you were doing a heck of a job pushing there on the back bumper of Vicente. Well, it was the race you sponsored tonight, and you come home on the podium. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, I didn't know if I had any front end damage from that last caution. I kind of sneaked my way through. So I figured I'm just going to stick to Vicente there and just push him as hard as I could.
Well, we head back to Talladega next week, and you got to feel like it's, to a degree, a confidence booster to bring home the podium here. Is there anything that maybe you took here from tonight that you do take into Talladega next week, just a little bit different than what we saw here tonight at Daytona?
Yeah, a little bit. Bigger track, you go 3 wide all the time. So just got to play your cards right and get behind the right people and work it out right.
All right. Well, before we let you go here tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you for broadcasting. Anybody out there watching, thank you for that. And thanks for my wife for letting me do this.
All right, sounds good. Hey, thanks for talking to us, and congrats again on that third place finish. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, and now we're going to go ahead and bring up your second place finisher, Cody Nagels. And hey, Cody, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Well, you come home one position short, but first of all, how in the world did you go from just about last to second in those last 2 laps?
Yeah, just taking the runs, man. I wanted to go third, and the third started filling up, and I knew if I went middle, that it was probably going to stall the top out, and I knew that my teammates were also leading the middle, so I was like, I'm going to support. But then if I have a chance to clear up and out, since I'm the fourth in line, if I was the third in line, I would have just stayed. But since I was the fourth, I was like, I'll decide to go. And Dusty gave me a good push, so wouldn't have been able to even have a shot at that win if it weren't for Dusty. But I am very, very glad Vince won the race because he deserved it. I felt like we did all the pit strategy right 2 different times, and we usually won't pull out whenever a guy is leading on a fuel strategy race. We just stay tucked in and finish how we are on the track. That was the plan. Caution comes out, so we had to fight for it a little bit. But that race was going to be Vince's, and I'm just glad that he still come home with the win because he deserved it.
All right, well, you come home second tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, of course, I want to thank you, Austin, for all you do at Ghost Racing Network, broadcasting NSRA, all the admins behind the scenes for doing all the work, Martin Sports for hopping on with NBG Motorsports and the money racing scene and supporting us. So thanks, Scott, for everything you do, and thank you to all the guys at Limitless Esports that were running in the race tonight. Another good points night for us, and on to the next one.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to bring up your winner, Vicente Guerrero, if we can get him in here. Hey, Vicente, this is all set up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, first win of the season comes at Daytona. Cody said he deserved to win the race. I mean, you were pretty dominant. We saw you up front for quite a bit of it. How'd you feel tonight, and how does it feel to get your first win?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I've been a little bit tipsy with my Budweisers, but it felt good, drinking this shit, and then just racing up front, and everybody racing was good. We had good pit stops, and I'm happy with the outcome. First pace. Yeah, baby.
Well, we saw some cautions start to come out there late. Now, when we were on fuel strategy, you had the lead. When those cautions came out, did you kind of go like, oh, man, now we got to kind of fight for it a little bit more? Were you happy to see the cautions?
No, I wasn't. Actually, I wanted to pit. I think that first caution that brought out that late run right there, I wanted to pit, but Cody says stay out. I have enough fuel for at least one green white, and we got a second green white there or something like that. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get another one because I got a pit. So luckily we got that white flag and held it off.
That certainly did all work out. Well, hey, before we let you go and enjoy your win tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, everybody in Limitless Esports there with Dawson, DJ, and both Roberts, Morris, and Jordan. And I thought there was somebody else in there in Discord, but yeah, everybody that was in Discord right there. It was fun racing DJ. I felt like DJ could have probably won. I wanted him to win. I was telling him, to come up front. If he gets in front of me, I'll push him to the win. But he's been racing really good.
Certainly has. Well, again, congrats on the win here tonight, Vicente, and we will see you next week. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks.
And that is your winner tonight, Vicente Guerrero. Appreciate everybody that came out here tonight. It was another good race. We will see you back here next Sunday at Talladega Super Speedway, back at the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. I hope everybody did enjoy. Kevin Eagles, I missed it, says, tell Vicente I was cheering him on. And I apologize, Kevin. I did not see that in time. But Marvin Overstreet had said, let's go, David Overstreet. And Kevin Eagles says, way to go, boys. Let's go, Vicente. That's all I got here for tonight. Again, hope everybody did enjoy and appreciate everyone that came out. And until next time, have a good